and welcome to another edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. We have the crew ready for episode 2. Tyrone Wheatley, former Michigan running back. Daniel Horton, former Michigan point guard. And Droppin Dimes is back for episode 2. Episode 1, I don't know if we have had this is season 3, and episode 1 was quite the hit. As I think you had in the live, I think you had about 5 or 6 thousand people with
Whoa.
with no announcement. So that was pretty impressive. The folks showing up to hear what you had to say, and I think it's pretty profound that they showed up and showed out for you. So how you doing? First of all, how you doing? And how did it feel to be a commentator, to be on this side of the aisle?
If you know what, it feels good. It really does. And I first and foremost, like I said, appreciate the platform, man. But it feels really good. I mean, to talk about some things, to get some things off your chest, as we say, drop a couple of dimes on some folks, man. But it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, hey, Daniel was on me hard, man. He was on me hard. Sam, what's going on? We had a lot of things going on. We had a lineup change midstream. We had a lot of different things going on at the site personally. So it threw some things. Threw a wrench in the start time. I said, Daniel, we're gonna get it rolling. We're gonna get it going, man. It's right at the time for basketball season, right?
Yes, sir.
So we ready to go. Ready just in time for college basketball season. And we actually going to talk some college basketball today, too. So right on time, Mr. Horton.
Yeah, they've been on me, Sam. They want to hear about these Wolverines, man.
Yeah, we're going to make that happen. But we are on the tail end of football season. And as two decorated stars, guys who had a lot of accolades in high school, you know what expectations are about. You know what being high profile is all about, right? And that's what Bryce Underwood is dealing with. This is picking up where we left off last week. And as we get started, speaking of high profile, whether you have profile or not, whether you're big time or you're just a regular Joe or Jane. If you want to get to your destination on time, every time, Golden Limo is the company that will get you there all the time, whether it's luxury transport in the SUV form, or the unique group transport in the form of a Sprinter, or large groups when it comes to their luxury motor coaches. Our friends at Golden Limo, they have you covered, whether you're traveling in Southeast Michigan, throughout the United States, or abroad. Golden Limo takes care of business, like they take care of the Michigan football team, like they take care of different members via NIL, as they are ardent supporters of NIL. Different ambassadors. One of their first ambassadors was doing this thing in the National Football League right now. Doing this thing, man. I tried to tell my Detroit Lions, you need to get Will Johnson. He is doing his thing for the Cardinals right now. Their ambassador this year on the football team is Zeke Berry, and they are closing in on a deal for the first time with a member of the Michigan basketball team, and we will be announcing that in the very near future. So if you want to get to your destination on time, every time, and support people who support Michigan, you will ride with Golden Limo at goldenlimo.com. All right, fellas, so let's talk about one Mr. Bryce Underwood. We talked a little bit about your impressions of Bryce last week. Now let's talk about expectations. Let's talk about progress. Let's talk about development. 9 games into his freshman season, Michigan is 7-2. I don't know what you thought their record would be at this point. Many people maybe had them at that record, but they had it looking maybe a different way. So you have some people who maybe had them at 7-2, but had them at 7-2 with the offense looking more explosive. So because it's 7-2 with the offense looking maybe a bit more pedestrian in the passing game, it's a dissatisfied 7-2, and thus they are a bit more, dare I say, disgruntled. It is not necessarily concerned anymore. I think the concern was a couple of games ago. Now that's more for some into being flat out disgruntled, saying, "Hey, either the coaches don't know how to develop him, or he was overrated. Either way, this development that they've seen in Bryce Underwood is not on track." What say you, Tyrone Wheatley? Is Bryce Underwood's development on track?
I believe it is on track. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take the believe off. It is on track. Let's look at Michigan in its totality. Before Bryce Underwood, who is Sharon Moore at the core? What is Michigan offense at the core? Okay. So when you bring this young man in, you're going to bring him into a core offense that's going to run the ball, that's going to line up in 12 and 21 personnel, that's going to run the gap scheme, that's going to run the inside zone scheme. They're going to run the ball. Now, people are saying he's off schedule, he's not, or he's, lack of development. At the end of the day, once you get a quarterback in there, you have to understand what he can and can't do. And you have to play to his strengths. Michigan has always been a ball control type offense. And so what you don't want to do is take a coach and his coaching staff out of their rhythm, but you also want to coach to the strengths of your players. And so probably what they did was when they found out there were certain things he cannot do, you don't put him in that situation to fail. You put him in a situation to be successful. And yes, maybe or not the passing yardage and the explosive offense and the down the field plays are not happening the way people want it to happen, but we are 7-2. And this young man is growing at a pace in which is good for him. Because what they could have done is put him out there and let him spray the ball all over the yard and ruin his confidence. And then that would be a different picture.
Daniel, what do you think? Is his development on track?
Admittedly, I'm not a football guy, right? I play basketball, but I keep up with football. My pops has coached football for 30 years. So just from my limited knowledge and experience of, being around the game, man, he looks like a typical high-level, talented freshman to me. Like, you're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to have some weeks where you look really good. You're going to have some weeks that you look, you're going to struggle. And no matter what the sport is, basketball, football, freshmen have ups and downs. No matter how talented you are, no matter how good you are. We'll talk about we get to the basketball team. The 5-star freshman on the basketball team had a really good opening game and has everybody excited. But he's going to have ups and downs as well, right? That's just how it goes when you're 17, 18, 19 years old playing against, guys 22, 23 years old. You're going to have ups and downs. So now this year, if we're having the same conversation, then I would be worried. Next year, if we're having the same conversation, I would be worried. But this year, man, I think he's right where he needs to be.
So a couple of things. I think being the number one rated quarterback, and number one rated player in the country, I think with that comes inflated expectations.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Highest rated player in the state of Michigan, I think, since Tyrone Wheatley. Since Drew Henson. He said, "Hey, you ain't never seen one like me." When there is that kind of hype, it leads to inflated expectations. Certainly, personally, he feels like, even knowing him personally, his maturity feels like and seems like it was above and beyond even what he is physically, above and beyond typical freshman. So yeah, I did believe, like others, that his freshman year pacing would be faster than others. I admit to believing that. That it has been slower than I expected it to be is not, it's not a total surprise though, because there were two things that I thought were cautionary tales. The comparisons to Trevor Lawrence. One of the things that I warned people against was comparing him to Trevor Lawrence because the circumstances were different than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence stepped into a playoff team. Trevor Lawrence started his 5th game, not his 1st game. So he stepped in on a playoff team and had 4 games to watch. Bryce didn't. He came in spring, but he stepped in after watching a playoff quarterback for 4 games, and then got in there with all of these pros, established pros around him in game 5 of that playoff team, where I don't have to be the man right away and to be expected to be the man right away to carry the load. Yeah, some games I might have to be, but not every game. That's different than Bryce, right? Where game 1, day 1, you expected me to be that guy every game. So the circumstances are totally different. And so with that burden and without the kind of talent around him, it was going to be a bumpier road for Bryce than it was ever going to be for Trevor Lawrence. That was number 1. Number 2, circumstance that was going to be different, man. I just think that when you consider a young fella at home, the magnitude of the expectation around him, that there was destined to be some pressure that he was going to face, some expectation that he was going to face that was going to probably be a little bit more obtrusive, a little bit more of a little bit more of a oppressor to him than it was to Trevor Lawrence down there in Clemson, South Carolina. Man, I just think the weight of that, of being a man at home in this focal point and spotlight, it was just going to be totally different, in my opinion. And so far, it's worked out that way. Now, did I think it was going to be off kilter to this point at this stage of the season? No. But what we've seen is, and I want to throw it back to you guys, hey, man, you cannot circumvent 18 years old. You can't. It's just every guy is going to have to go through those game-specific circumstances that all 18-year-olds go through when they're on the field for the first time. You just got to go through it, and he's going through that right now at Michigan.
Yeah, hey, Sam, quick question. Who is Trevor Lawrence's receivers at and his core around him at Clemson during that time? Didn't he play with a bunch of other NFL guys around him?
He had T. Higgins. He
Okay.
had Hunter Renfro.
Trevor Etienne.
He had Travis Etienne.
Travis, yeah.
He had another big time 5-star receiver out there as well. Yeah, man.
They had a. If I remember correctly, they had a.
Yeah, Destin Ross out there as well. Yeah, it's
so
totally.
He wasn't. So Trevor Lawrence didn't step in a situation like Bryce, where Michigan fans are starved for great quarterback play, right? Where we haven't seen great quarterback play since JJ left, right? So Trevor Lawrence was stepping in basically a ready-made team. All he had to do is step in and be himself and do what he's supposed to. Bryce is, not only are we, whether fans are at 7-2, right? It's a rebuilding year. Honestly, playing a bunch of freshmen, a lot of first and second year guys, although you don't rebuild that Michigan, you reload. But it's still a transition year. So he's going to, for everybody, not just it's a new offensive coordinator, man. It's a lot of things that are in this mix right now that are going to smooth themselves out as time goes on and everybody gets more, Bryce included, gets more time on task. His footwork will get better. His reads will get better. All those things come with time on task, Sam. You don't get better at those things just because of fan expectation or NIL dollars, or you don't get better at those things because of that. You have to put your time in. And he's still in the process of putting his time in.
Yeah, I kind of want you to take us back, to your freshman year. You step into Michigan. It's been a running back stable. I mean, I felt like it was one of those years where fans were clamoring to see you. I felt like we really didn't get a chance to really see you do your thing until they threw you in the Rose Bowl, and you ran away from everybody at the end of that Rose Bowl. I don't know how you felt about it during that year, if you felt like you were ready before that. But maybe there was a reason that it took until that time to get to that point. But take us back to your experience, even as a running back.
Well, it was just said, there's growing pains. And what I mean by the growing pains, when you come in as a true freshman, you have a certain skill set. Things you did in high school, oh man, I'm gonna go out here, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And you get your feelings hurt because it doesn't work. Right? Then you have to reinvent or find your game. And then not only as you're finding your game, you have to learn. Okay. You have to learn the blocking schemes. You have to learn defenses. You have to learn certain things that you didn't have to understand and know in high school, that you were just so much more talented people, you got away with it. And I'm just going back to, I tell a story, and this is a true story, right? This is a true story. Derek Alexander blows his knee out. And I'm back there as a true freshman. And I used to catch punts in practice.
I remember that, Boston College.
Yeah, I used to catch punts in practice. And then so I caught punts in high school. But all of a sudden, they throw a young Wheatley out there to catch the punt. That ball seemed like it was in the air for 6 years. Right? But only thing I remember is hearing is catch every punt. I didn't fair catch it. I caught the punt and almost got decapitated. And they pulled me out and said, Desmond, go out. Desmond started returning punts. And all I'm saying is as I grew, I had to grow. And then they put me in the Northwestern. I played in the Notre Dame game. I remember seeing Chris Zordich, and I was like, this man's neck is larger than my thigh. I tried to block him on the play. He ran through me, and I was like, man, first of all, weight room strength. I had to grow. I had a nice run in the Northwestern game. Played in Ohio State. I finished the Ohio State game. But it really took me until the Rose Bowl to now where I could say I understand the ebb and flow of the game and not try to press and not try to make things happen. Allow the game to come to me. And once the game came to me, I understood what my skill set was the strongest and where it was the weakest. And I didn't put myself in those situations. So it did take until the Rose Bowl to get there. But a lot of people say, well, had they put me out there beforehand, I'd expedited my progress. But I didn't have to. Why? I had another great back in front of me that allowed me to grow, right? And so that's why I just say with Bryce is defenses understand who he is. And so they're going to throw certain things at him. And each week there's going to be something different in that playbook that these defensive coordinators are going to throw at him. Mm-hmm. And so one week he might look a certain way. The next week he's going to look a certain way because defenses are going to be structured differently to stop him differently. So, and I'm gonna just go back to, so you said Trevor Lawrence. I'm gonna take Jalen Hurts. So you take another quarterback who had a great freshman year in Alabama, but look at the surrounding cast he had. Yep. So now let's look at the Super Bowl Jalen Hurts played in. That wasn't a pretty Super Bowl by quarterback standard in numbers at all. But he did what he had to do to what? Win the game. And that's what people are not understanding is it's about winning the game. Yeah, we want stats and we want all these things, but when you can put a young man and he can adjust his game to win the game and not be counting on numbers and statistics and not being selfish and saying, hey, listen, this is what it takes to win the game. Coach, I believe in it. Let's go. Let's win.
Well, I think you also gotta allow for the coaching staff to adjust the game plan to win the game. And I think that's what they've done the last couple of weeks. I'm looking at this comment here. Said I don't think the coaching staff knows how to create a good passing game for Underwood, who is underperforming somebody 7-2 anyway. Last week, and we didn't do the film study like we did in the Michigan State game, where I think we showed you the passing game. We illustrated the passing game for you. We didn't illustrate it last week against Purdue, but you should have been able to see on play 5 where it was a switch vertical and you got Jamar Browder running down the seam wide open. I mean, you don't need the all 22 to see he's wide open. That he is schemed wide open. The very next play, Bryce is flush from the pocket. He gets to the perimeter. He gets pressure, but he's flush from the pocket. He's on the flank. Now he's free. Now he's free and clear of pressure, right? And he has Zach Marshall, and the ball sails on him, throwing on the run. Now Bryce throws well on the run, but this one he sails. A series or so later, they run a play action flood, and you got McCulley open in the end zone on a play action flood, and he underthrows that one after he overthrew the two earlier passes. He has a post wheel with Klein down the sideline. Klein is open down the sideline. Now he gets some pressure. He gets a little bit of pressure, but this is a ball. He has a man open where with a little maneuvering, because this wasn't a ball that couldn't be completed, that he doesn't get it to Klein. So the point that I'm making on this is to the contrary of this poster. They created some. This is not true. This is not accurate. Now, the key to me is to, you keep looking for reasons as to why, when really I think what we have to accept is that when we're dealing with an 18 or 19-year-old guy, even if he is exceptionally talented, exceptionally mature, that there are things that guy just has to go through. Mm-hmm. He just has to go through, just like every other guy who isn't exceptionally talented or exceptionally mature. He just has to. There's so many. I can't remember which coach I was talking to that he was saying, "Hey man, listen, there's so many game specific things that he has to experience. Like you can't show him everything he's going to see in practice. Nope. You can't. Nope. He's not going. Everything that he sees in game, there's no way we're going to be able to show him all those things in practice. It's impossible. And oh, by the way, you're going to get hit. He's definitely not going to see that in practice. So you're going to see something new, and you're going to get hit. I mean, that's just, he's got to go through that. And then how do you react? How do you react to that? And so, yeah, I mean, was there an expectation that maybe his reaction would be a little bit different, a little bit quicker than some other guy? Sure. But you know what? It wasn't. It was like a lot of other or all other 18-year-olds. Okay. So you adjust and you adapt to that. That's what coaching is about. You got to adjust to the conditions of your 18-year-old quarterback. Okay, let's run this rock. That's what coaches are supposed to do, right? My 18-year-old is being an 18-year-old. Okay, let's pivot. That's what, to me, that's coaching. Coaching is not my 18-year-old is my quarterback is somehow, some way he can't find it. We got to figure out a way for him to find it. Let everything else be damned. That seems like it's what people want him to do. To me, it's win the game and let's try to develop him in parallel, understanding that he's 18 years old and 18-year-olds just go through this stuff.
My thing is, the thing I'm happy he's not doing is he's not making a bad play worse. I.e., the young man down in Texas, Manny, right? Mm-hmm. He could be trying to force things and forcing it and turning the ball over left and right and just making the bad plays worse. But he's missing the reads. And like you said, to the one poster said that the offensive coaches are not producing a game plan or creating plays. They are. But once again, people are disguising things. And as he's going, he's looking for the routes as opposed to looking at the defenses, reading safeties and reading coverages and reading the flat defenders and all those things. And once he understands where to put his eyes, those routes and those things will become second nature. It'll be just like waking up, brushing your teeth, man. He'll hit those things with no issues, no problems. But the one thing I am loving right now, and a lot of people may not appreciate it, because I've been with quarterbacks and I've coached quarterbacks that will make a bad situation absolutely worse. So be thankful for the ball was sailed over his head, and be thankful that the ball went out of bounds,
Right.
because he could have thrown picks on all of those.
Yeah. And what does he have? What, two or three?
Three.
It's 3 picks on the season.
Mm.
I mean, and that's the other thing. I mean, this is not an offense that he's throwing it 40 times a game. I mean, you know, the number of reps you get in the passing game is going to be more limited in their offense too. So that is another part of the developmental equation for him that you got to factor into this assessment. When you talk about that, that's the thing that gets me. You can be disappointed with it's not happening as fast as you want it to happen. What gets me is people's conclusion that, oh, he's either not as good as I thought, or, oh, they just must suck. It can't be, man, he's 18. It just can't be that.
Hey,
Why
Sam,
not?
between that and the talk about the wide receiver coach and he need all the stuff that you hear, yeah, it's almost insufferable right now for a team that's 7-2. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about right now?
Or he has a big ego, or he don't want to work. Like, where do y'all get that stuff?
Who said?
Where does that come from? Come on, man. Where have you seen ego from Bryce? Like, so he's had a lot of drops, right? Maybe not in that game, but throughout the season, he had a lot of drops. Do you see him running around talking about his receivers dropping balls? He's at different points of the season, maybe not as much of late, but throughout the season, he's got a lot of pressure. You see him running around yelling about his offensive line. I mean, that's ego to me. That he don't do that.
I think what happens is a lot of times people try to look for a negative as opposed to looking at the positive and looking at what's going on. Now, listen, not a quarterback. I played in high school, but not a quarterback. But being 18 years old and a guy that played in that stadium and understand what that expectation is, I don't think people understand that. It goes back to the old poem, it's the man in the arena. And that man that's in that arena is doing a hell of a job. He is doing a hell of a job.
Hey, somebody said this comment is being said a lot, but I think it's on point where they say, you know, development is not linear. Like, he might have a good game and he might have 2 bad games. And then, you know, with the next one might be good, but don't get too carried away, because with a freshman, his next one might be bad. I think that's very, very much on point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you got to watch him through that lens, and then you look for the team around him, coaches especially, to be able to adapt and pick it up and look to players like Jordan Marshall, who've been around for a minute, and say, hey, give it to me. That offense, like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, ride my back. We can get it done this way too. Let's play some complimentary football and make it happen. The bye week came at the right time for this squad, for sure, fellas. I got a coaching question and a culture question, and this transcends sports, guys. One of the things that we've been talking about with this team, they play a lot of guys, and I think this is probably across the board. And so you try to figure out rotations, and so they'll, you know, get from a lot of fans to say, man, you know, you look at like along the defensive line, they'll say, well, how many snaps is like Derek Moore playing? Like, man, this feels like he's not playing as many snaps. I'm like, man, they're playing a lot of guys. And so I just use that as an example. You could say that any team in the country. One of the things I think to measure in college football now is, do we see teams playing more guys as a rule in the NIL era. And I ask this to you, Wheat, as a coach now. Do you think that with NIL that coaches play more guys basically to, as a roster retention strategy? Like I got to play more players to make sure I keep guys. Like this is, if I don't play more dudes, then my guys aren't happy. That's not to say, as I set this question up a little bit more, I'm not saying that you play guys who can't play. Let's say I got a Derek Moore who is really, really good. Like Derek Moore is excellent. And I'm gonna choose another guy who's not on the team. Let's say Go Jay. Let's say Go Jay 2038, because he's a Buckeye, right? He's just a Buckeye in the room. Like, and he's a cool Buckeye because he gives a super chat. Like he gave us super chat money today. So you got Derek Moore, who's really, really good, and Go Jay, who is just good. Like he doesn't suck, but he's not as good as Derek Moore. He's worthy of being on the field, but not as much as Derek. But I'm playing them sort of equal. Maybe Derek is playing, maybe Derek is playing 60% of the plays, and I'm playing Go Jay 40% of the plays. Whereas I wonder if NIL wasn't around, I might be playing Derek 80% of the plays and Go Jay 20% of the plays. Do you feel like NIL is maybe distorting things a little bit? I wonder if that's affecting things in your eyes.
Yes, I always say this. You have to look at the history of the defensive or offensive coordinator. And what I mean by that is he a platoon guy, right? If he's a platoon guy, then it's in his history. So then you could kind of say NIL isn't that way. But with the way it is now, you have to recruit your guys back. So back when I was playing, and it was hard for a guy to transfer because you had to sit that year out. But a guy will sit there and say, I'm not getting any reps. I'm not going to sit here and sit for 3 years, 4 years. I'm not going to do it. So I'm leaving. And now what these teams are doing is what these general managers are doing is like the NFL model. What these NFL teams, what these college teams are doing is they're going down these rosters and they're looking and they're looking at them and they're saying, what's his Pro Football Focus production? Oh, he's here. We need a guy with production. We'll take him from Michigan. We'll take this guy from Michigan. And then at the end of the year, your depth at Michigan is totally gone because you're not playing those guys. And nowadays, guys are saying, listen, if I'm not getting any playing time, I know I can get some money, and I'm going to go. And now I'm going to tell you something that's really weird on my end. I'm a Division II coach, and they're coming down and they're taking bigs from me to walk on and to sit because they're getting $5,000 to $10,000 just to sit. So the retention of your team, yes, you have to retain that second string, that third string guys, because later those guys will be the first string guys that you hope they will become. So absolutely, man, you have to play these guys. You have to. If I don't play you, and I go get some money someplace else, I'm gone.
That's the first thing other schools gonna use against you.
Yes.
You sat on the bench the whole season. Well, no, I agree. It's a twofold thing, right? Not only do you get to, it gives you a better chance of retaining guys, but also, like in any other sport, it helps you build depth, right? Especially you look at all the injuries Michigan has right now, they're able to play some of these guys because they've been playing all year. I only look at it as a good thing. If it's because of NIL, hey, I'm all for it. Like the more guys you play, especially as many blowout games as Michigan football is going to play on a year-to-year basis, right? There's no reason to play Derek Moore 80% of the snaps and you're beating, Central Michigan 40-something to 7, right? Play those other guys. Let those other guys get quality reps and quality minutes. And it's something that Greg Popovich did for a long time in the NBA, right? You would see him rest Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker and let those guys, they won't play for 2 games. and he'll let all those other guys get all of that experience for those 2 games. And then you look up in the playoffs, Popovich is playing 9, 10 guys, and the other team he's playing against is only playing 7. Well, he's developed his roster throughout the course of the season so he can play 9, 10, 11 guys and not have very much drop-off as compared to, okay, we play 7, one of these 7 go down. We playing a guy that's 15 pounds overweight and hasn't faced a live rep in, since training camp. So you got to play him.
So if you take your lumps, but if you're not taking losses, it's fine.
Yeah.
But because teams are taking lumps now. I mean, it looks a certain kind of, you can see the drop off in certain respects, but if it doesn't result in losses,
but think about what he just said, though, right? Think about that loss. If that kid hadn't had that 20% playing in production, now all of a sudden the number 1 guy goes out and he hadn't played at all. Now he goes in. Think about that fall off. Then think about that trade off, and then think about the trade off. So here's what you got to also understand, right? The number 1 guy you got on your defensive line, you got to. It's like the NFL. Come around that next year, people are trying to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
People are trying to pay him. So what if you can't afford to pay him and he goes? What do you have behind him? I have a pretty good young man that we developed, and I feel good with bringing him in. Now we might have to go get somebody else. So people have to understand you have to adjust with the adjustment. This is no longer college football as we know it. This is a mini model of the NFL.
Yep.
This is a mini model of the NFL.
Did you experience that in the NFL at all, week?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I was traded out to the Raiders, I was on my first year contract, and it was one of them deals where I just signed a 1-year deal, and I bet it on myself. And I said, okay, I'll take the 1-year vet minimum, but I had a crap ton of incentives. And so I ended up starting. I ended up rolling. I was the starter back, and I was going. And then one day, Al Davis came down and said, hey, we got to play this guy. We're paying this guy all this money. He has to start these last 3 games. Well, being a good teammate, starting didn't really matter to me then, but now as I'm older, and I was like, no, I should have been the starter. But when it came to me, it was like, well, so-and-so is going to start these last 3 games because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah, they started him. They started him those last 3 games. But then what happened was they came back to me because then as I started playing to retain me, they had to find a balance where they came to us and said, okay, listen, he's going to start these games. Will you be okay with that? But you're going to get the bulk of the carries. We're going to guarantee you 20 carries a game, but he's going to start the game. Are you okay? Because once I started playing, and they was like, okay, we're afraid of losing you, because remember, I was on a 1-year deal. So I was on emphasis saying, hey, man, listen, you're going to have to pay me, or somebody going to pay me, right? You're going to pay me or somebody going to pay me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the agreement we came to.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, quick question, Sam. With the season being much longer than it used to be in college football too, right? Doesn't that kind of lend itself to you playing more guys throughout the course of the year, right? You don't want to, like you say, you don't want to play Derrick Moore 80% of the time, and you hope to make a deep playoff run. let's say you do make it to the, just say you make it to the semifinals. That's like 15 games, right? You can't play those guys like that. You gotta, and not expect them to have, these guys want to have NFL careers and play 10 years after Michigan. So
listen, I it's definitely some benefit to playing more guys. I wonder how comfortable coaches are with it, is my question.
Like I said, but it goes back to, is it in his DNA to platoon and to rotate, right? Is it in his DNA? If it is, then it's nothing wrong with it. But you have to get comfortable with it.
Right? Yeah, you don't have a choice.
You have to get comfortable with it, because you become part of that roster management.
Uh-huh.
It's about managing the roster. They cut it down to 105. Okay? And you have to manage that roster. And now it becomes into dollars and cents.
I hear you. It's a fact of life. You're dropping some real nuggets on you. Dropping dimes tonight, getting it right from right from guys who played the game and coached the game. As we transition, we're going to give you a word from one of the guys who's playing the game for the Wolverines right now. He is one of the ambassadors for Golden Limo. He's doing a great job on the field for the Wolverines as he switched positions last year from nickel to corner, and now is holding it down and doing a great job for the Amazing Blue. Talking about Zeke Berry, and now an ambassador for Golden Limo.
I want to thank Sean for actually giving me the opportunity to be the ambassador for Golden Limousine. You know, I mean, them, you know, actually seeing, you know, what I can do for their company, you know, and seeing like the story behind me, you know, and being like, okay, this guy, I want this guy to represent, you know, our company. You know, I feel like Sean is, you know, giving me a chance, you know, seeing what I've been through, you know, my story. He's giving me a chance to, you know, change my life around. When getting ready for a game, the last thing I want to worry about is am I going to make it there safe? And when riding with Golden Limousine, that's never a concern. When riding on the bus, I sit back and relax, go over the game plan, and make sure I always have my music. This allows me and my teammates to focus on the game and not worry about our safety. I can cover on the field because Golden Limousine has me covered on the road. The first thing I notice when riding with Golden Limousine is before I even get in the vehicle, the driver comes out and grabs my bags for me. And then when getting into the vehicle, I see that the vehicle is spotless, I have my water, and the attention and detail is second to none. I got with Golden Limousine because of their professionalism, and to be honest, they just got my back. You know, Sean gave me an opportunity after hearing my story. He decided to give me this opportunity of partnering with Golden Limo. I appreciate the way Golden Limousine handles their business by doing the little things right all the time, no matter what it is. The attention to details is the same way that I handle my business on and off the field. I appreciate Sean and Golden Limousine for seeing those things in me, and that's why I'll always ride on Golden Limousine.
Yes, sir. So Zeke doing a great job being an ambassador for Golden Limo. Pretty soon, you'll be seeing a member of the Michigan basketball team doing the same thing with Golden Limo, which is an excellent segue. They are picked by some, or at least by one member of the media, to win the national championship, Joe Lunardi, who is, I think, the preeminent bracketologist out there. He said, "Oh, that's the best team in the country. They're gonna win it. They're gonna win it all." Dusty May's squad is the best in the land. Now, some have said Final Four, Big Ten champs, but he is the only one that I've seen so far that says, "Oh, hey, national championship."
Yeah,
I see it in their future. So I've heard Rudy T say that. I've heard Tim McCormick say that. I ran into Terry 3 Mills at the game on Saturday, and Terry could be pretty hard on, but Terry said, "Hey, man, Final Four." He said Final Four. So, Daniel, I'm going to put the ball in your court now. What say you? I know you could be pretty hard on him. What you think, Daniel? What you think?
Yeah, that people look at me like I'm, you know, I handle the basketball team like Devin does the football team. But first of all, before I do that, hey man, we got Zeke Berry up there like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, what is going on? But nah.
hey, Zeke came a long way. Zeke came a long way. Hey, y'all leave my man Zeke alone. He came from Northern California. Gotta
Nah,
say, hey, we gave him a script and he got through that script.
yeah,
So,
big time player. But I think they should be the favorites to win the Big Ten for sure. I don't really see anybody that brought back as much talent as they brought back and really just brought in, because Dusty did a great job building this roster. I think the roster is a little bit more balanced than it was last year, but I'm not ready to make a Final Four prediction until I see how they're going to protect the ball, and B, if our point guard is going to be able to guard anybody, right? Like he's my and I like the kid. He's my son's to let you in on a little secret, Sam. I'm trying to get my son up there because Elliot Cadeau has been my son's favorite point guard since he was in high school, right? My son keeps up with all this stuff, and he's a sophomore now, but he led the ACC in fouls last year. He's fouled out of 2 of the 3 games and 2 of the 4 games. How many games they played so far? He's fouled out of 2 of them. You know what I mean? And so, and he's the only ball handler. So if he's the only ball handler and he's going to be in foul trouble, then we're forced to watch Roddy Gill and these other guys, play in a position they've already proven that they're not comfortable with playing. It's going to be a long season. We're going to play a lot of close games again, and it's going to be determined how they dig out those close games like they did. And I told you this last year, and people thought I was crazy when I said Michigan was going to play a lot of close games. And that was going to be determined, that was going to determine how their season turned out. And they led the nation in 1 possession wins. They had like 14 of them. So it's I don't think it's going to be as many close games. It's to start this year, but as the season goes on, the Big Ten season goes along, if we can't take care of the ball, and if our point guard is constantly in foul trouble, we won't sniff the Final Four.
Okay, so Daniel just lied to you. He just lied to you when he said people thought he was crazy because he said it was going to be close games. That ain't why people thought he was crazy. He said some other crazy stuff, but that
I did.
He said some other crazy.
I did. I said it's going to be determined on how they pull out these close games with a bunch of guys that have never played with each other before.
He said some other crazy.
And they were able to pull out the overwhelming majority of those games last year. This year, I don't know if there'll be as much chemistry issues. I think they're more talented than they were last year.
I know he was. See, I said he said other crazy things.
Oh yeah, you talking about women's basketball. We get to women's basketball, they ain't gonna like my opinion then. But with this Michigan basketball thing, like I said, man.
But I
it's
think
gonna be determined on point guard it's gonna be determined by guard play. College basketball is always determined by guard play.
Yes. I mean, you're right. The guard players, but I think last year, with the 2 big fellas last year, gave them some reprieve. You know what I'm saying? So it gave them some comfort in being there. And those guys can shoot the ball. They can extend the court. They can play outside of the offense a little bit. But I think you come down because losing those 2 big guys. I think you're right though, man. We need another ball handler. We need somebody that can stretch this thing and drive the bucket, shoot it, pass it. But you can't be in foul trouble, man, if you're the only guy.
So you know what I like, man? You know what I like about this? A couple of things I like. So I remember being in high school, man, and you like to go into places when you got dudes. So when we went to Saginaw, we knew when we went up there and they had they had Sam Sword on their squad.
Yeah.
Sam Sword was, but I knew we had Dre. We straight because we got that dude Dre Weathers over there. We got my man D Mitch. We got guys. We got dude. So I know, hey, if you went somewhere you had you was gonna be all right, right? So last year, man, when Michigan played Purdue, hey Daniel, I was wondering, I was wondering because that dude Trey Kaufman-Wren. That first game, he was punking them hard.
Yep.
He was punking them. He was punking them so hard. Hey, and when they came to Chrysler, he was punking them so hard that even Dusty called timeout, and he went up to Vlad, and he was almost like he started jumping up and down, like, "Hey man, you gonna do something?" Like, hey, you gonna let this dude come over here and punk you like this? Like, what's up now? I give Vlad some credit because Vlad started playing better late in the game, and they actually played better against Purdue later in the season in Purdue. They took care of business against them. But here's what ain't gonna happen this year. All that punking stuff, that ain't happening this year, Daniel. I guarantee
you say that.
You know how I know that ain't happening? Because you know who they have now?
Who's that?
They have the punk-proof guy down low. You can't punk Michigan no more. Because
who are you talking about? He played in the Big Ten last year.
Daniel,
like, what are you talking? Hey, see, this is where we go off the rails right here when they start annoying guys. They start annoying guys things that they have to prove that they're that. That's like you got. I'm not giving him that. He got to earn that.
Playing that game that you talking about. See,
I don't exactly. I don't know.
See, here's what I know ain't gonna happen.
What are you talking?
Here's what I know ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna get punked.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know that to be true. Now we gonna see. Did he play against Purdue last year?
Okay. So Dan,
what happened when Illinois played Purdue last year? What happened?
Let's pause for a second. Let's go back to what was.
Go back to when Purdue played Illinois last year and tell me what did Trey Kaufman really do against Illinois when he was at Illinois last year?
You're a freshman in 03?
02.
02. Let's go back to 02. So when you went to Michigan State, you was gonna get punked.
I ain't never got punked, but that's me from the time I came out the womb. No,
that's my.
But Sam, what I'm telling you, I understand he may be that. He may be that, Sam. But he's played in the Big Ten a year already. He wasn't the tough guy on that team.
Oh, you get okay.
So now he's going to come to Michigan to be. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player because he looked really good the other night. But you can't just anoint guys, giving these guys.
I ain't anoint nothing.
He played against Kaufman Wren last year. He's going to have to play against him again this year. That's not.
So here's what I do. I'm going to be the buffer, right? So like we talked about the two big fellas last year, they had more of I call it more of a European game. The two big fellas last year, more of a European game, right? So my man coming in this year, he's a little bit about that life. I wouldn't say all the way, but he's a little bit about that life. So yes, there's going to be a difference in the style of play. I will say that. I will say that.
But Sam, he about to come in and be big bad. Like, hey man, he gonna have to fight and claw and play hard just like everybody else.
Perez did not play against Purdue last year.
Okay,
he is not getting punked in that game.
Once again, so how do we know if he didn't even play?
Have you talked to or watched this dude? Close?
I watched him practice. I watched him play. He looks like he's a tough player. I'm not saying, but that don't mean when he go against another guy who's really good and tough that you can't get your hat handed to you. That's not so. You have to. Those things have to be. Things have to be proven, Sam.
So if I proclaim to people back in 2002, you know what? After meeting Daniel Horton, seeing him do his thing, son, Daniel ain't getting punked when he go up to East Lansing. He ain't getting punked. You would have told me, you don't know what you're talking about, Sam.
I wouldn't have told you that. But I wouldn't have told you that. But you would have been making a proclamation based on something you haven't seen. I'm not in the business of doing that. I don't do that. Especially not when it comes to basketball. I gotta see a guy. Once he does it, then I'm gonna give it to him.
I use my eyes and I talk to people. And he ain't getting punked. He ain't getting punked.
I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he won't. I'm telling you, I gotta see it.
Okay.
Just like I told you with Danny. Danny can do this, he can do that. I gotta see it.
Danny he ain't no first round pick. That's what you told me.
Have you seen him play?
Was he a first round pick?
He was a first round pick, but have you seen him play?
I said this dude.
All right, then. Just check it. Just because.
First round pick.
No, actually, y'all said he was going to be a lottery pick. That was the debate. It wasn't. If I told you midway through conference play, I could see the late first round pick. Y'all said he was going to be a lottery pick.
And then we said first round pick. You said he ain't no first round pick. I remember that. And then you came back after he played some games. And you said, okay.
And I gave you the reasons after I saw something why I thought he could be a late first. So I told you, I got to see you do it. I'm not gonna just give you. I got to see you do it. And I think Coach Wheatley, I ain't gonna speak for you, but as a guy who's been there and done that, you're not just passing out all of this praise and credit for guys who you haven't seen play. No, you know what it's like to be in them trenches. You got to go earn that.
No, but here's what. But this is what I've learned, though. So I call it boots on the ground eyes, right? Mm-hmm. we're looking at it from the standpoint of we've been in them trenches and we're looking at it. But then, as you and I both say, some of these general managers and some of these people are making these predictions, and you and I are like, what are they seeing? So through Sam's eyes, his eyes are trained a little bit different, and I've learned to look at it that way and pick up certain things. So I kind of go back and forth, right? So when people ask me, I say, "Are you asking the ball player?
Yeah.
Or are you asking you know what I mean? Like, which guy you asking for the answer?
Exactly.
Now, if you want the real answer for me, hell no. But if you're asking for, he presents this, he does this well, and you know you know what I'm saying, the tangible. So I get it.
I feel you.
I get it.
And he does. And to answer Sam, he does have a chance to bring a certain level of toughness and physicality that we didn't have last year, right? But in order, when you go, you know, like I know, going to Michigan State, keeping them, they go come in there with 4-5 big old boys, you don't know their name, Kowalkowski, Shevashivsky, and all of them will go be on the glass.
Hey, and speaking of the guy who don't know his name, I can't remember number 10. What's number 10's name on Michigan State?
I don't remember.
Last year.
Is that Kohler? Was he a big fella?
Big fella. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, I'm saying they gonna come in there with 4 or 5 guys like that. You don't know their names, but they gonna be on the offensive glass. When you go play against Purdue, they'll be in the glass. So, but from what I've seen from him so far, I don't want to make this whole segment Michigan basketball about him. But he played really well the first game. I love what I see from them offensively. If they take care of the ball, Sam, they're gonna score, and I'm pretty sure everybody said they're gonna score a crap ton of points, and that's gonna be really hard to beat. Like I told you. I think I told you this early this year or late last year. I think I really like what Dusty does offensively. So much so, like I've scheduled meetings with them to talk offensive basketball, offensive philosophy, because I want to take some of that and use it with my kids, and that prepare them for what they may see if they're fortunate enough to play at the next level. So I really believe in what Dusty does as a coach offensively. I just like some areas, the switching on defense still scares me. Because no matter how big and physical you are, or how big and physical we've become, adding those 2 7-3 guys, adding Morris Johnson, adding Yaxel, when you switch a lot, it creates bad matchups. And now you don't have as many bad matchups depending on what lineup you have out there, but it can still present problems as far as offensive rebounding and cross matching on defense, to where you can kind of get yourself in some sticky situations. But like I said, man, the way they play offense, it's gonna be hard to teams even if they do turn over 12 to 15 times, it still might be hard for teams to keep up with them just because they shoot the ball really well. They share the ball really well. And one thing I was really impressed with, they finish well in the paint as a unit, not just the big guys dunking, but they finish well around the rim as a unit. We finished much better around the rim this year than we did last year.
Yeah,
so,
my concern, I think they'll be versatile defensively. I think they'll switch depending on who's on the floor. Like, I think you'll see that when what's the big fella die? Yeah, I think they'll be different defensively when he's on the floor. My concern is the first one you expressed, and I think that'll be the biggest issue, and that is who's your other ball handler other than Elliott. That is going to I think be an issue. How will you handle pressure? Dusty said we got a plan for that. And I'm not convinced that will be something that derails them. I'm just saying we're gonna have to see that plan. Somebody's gonna test that.
Yep.
Somebody's definitely gonna test
and you might see it pretty quickly because, like I said, unless he gets a handle on some of these silly fouls, I've seen him pick up as a point guard through the first 2 exhibition games and the regular game. I think if he can limit that and keep himself on the floor, he'll lead the conference in assists. He might lead the nation in assists. He'll lead the nation in assists. He'll probably average a double-double. He'll put up really good numbers if he remains on the floor. But he led the ACC in fouls last year for a reason. And so,
man, you don't have to be. You can get up in people. You don't have to foul. Because look, you know what it's like. It's like walking somewhere and we got your back. Like you could be a little more aggressive because we got your back. Like you don't have to be like, you don't have to throw no punches.
Yeah.
Just slide to the side because you got weak back there. That's you, Elliott. You look who back there, man. You don't gotta be you don't gotta slap around. You got people behind you.
Yep.
Back you up. Come on,
For
man.
sure. You got paint protection. You got big wings behind you. You know, I mean, I think he can really lead. He has the ability to lead this team to, some really big prizes this year if he stays on the floor. But that's one thing. And Sam, I've watched him a lot on film, and I'm trying to figure out why does he foul so much? Because it's not his athletic ability. He's plenty athletic enough for a guy his size. He has a high basketball IQ. So it's just whatever that is that leads him to pick up these fouls throughout the course of the game. Hopefully they can get that under control, whether it's laziness or just switching off for a second on defense, and now instead of being in the gap and helping with my body, I'm reaching and slapping, whatever it may be. Hopefully they can correct some of these things. So I'm telling you right now, that'll make me change my prediction. If we get through halfway through the season and he's staying out of foul trouble and living up to the potential that he came out of high school with, that'll change my prediction in a big way, because college basketball is a guards game. And if we come out there with a big time point guard, everything else we have, then I would say Final Four for sure.
That's the dude who works on this game, because he started out his college career at Carolina shooting horribly. He shot it better last year in the 30s, and he's been, like, if you go to practice, he's been shooting really well, and that's translated to the game. He
just need to make him when he open. That's it.
Yeah,
make him when you open.
So
let's respect you.
Let's close things out with with a topic, and then acknowledging the super chatters. Julia Waller, appreciate you. She loving the lineup. Appreciate you, Julia. This Buckeye Go Jay. He just show. Hey man, like I told you, you want to come with the super chat? Hey, come on down. We appreciate it. Like I said, man, I know you feeling frisky, you feeling happy. Y'all thought y'all was gonna win last year, and you thought y'all was gonna win the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that. I will repeat what I said on the last show you showed up for. If it's close in the fourth quarter, that ass getting tapped again. Get the bleach ready. Get the bleach ready. It ain't gonna get out all the streaks that Ryan Day have. You can try. You can try. I'm just telling you. He can't handle it. He can't handle it. I know, I'm sorry. I forgot we the coach. I can't talk like that with a coach on here. But I'm just telling you, Jay.
It's after hours. It's after hours.
I'm just telling you, Go Jay. It's fun talking to a cool Buckeye who donate to the super chats. So keep on coming back, Go Jay. You a cool dude, unlike most other Buckeyes. Wolverine J says, Sam, Ty Wheat, D Hort, give a shout out to my daughter on being accepted at ASU today. So congratulations. Shout out to your daughter. Daughter Jay.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
You probably feel like me though. My daughter go to Georgia Tech, and I love it and hate it. I love it because it's free, but I hate it because she's not a Wolverine.
That's a great school, man. That's a great school. Thought about Georgia Tech. Could not shake the Michigan feeling. No. But hey, this is a perfect segue since we're talking about female athletes, fellas. We ended last week talking about women's basketball, and Wheat was talking about lower the rim so we can see some dunks. I was like, Wheat, do we have to see dunks for it to be entertaining? Yes. Is it necessary? Can we have like compelling matchups? Like, I want to see athleticism in women's basketball, but compelling matchups do it for me. Like, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that was a compelling matchup. That's what did it for me. So you got programs now that are contemplating adding women's football. What would you guys think about that? Now, obviously,
football or women's flag football?
Flag football.
Okay.
Flag football. Now, we've seen women's hockey kind of become a sport that gets added. Women's basketball, obviously, is taken off. That's become a marquee sport, right? But women's football, if it's flag, would that be something that you think could be a thing that takes hold and becomes something that that gets a following, how would you feel? I already see some hesitation.
Coach Week, don't do it. Coach Week, don't do it. This is the segment of the show where Sam try to get people in trouble.
What are you talking about?
Don't do it, Coach.
So listen. So listen, this is the way I believe. I don't believe in trouble, right? I don't believe in trouble. I believe in opinions, in which we all have them.
Yep.
And this world is a better place when we all have our opinions, right? So here's the deal. Let's talk about. I'm gonna go back and forth to basketball. Compelling matchups in women's basketball. I love it, right? But however, when I watch, and I'm just going back because you see what I got on, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't watch basketball too much today. But when I used to watch a game and I seen Vince Carter, and I'm like, then I go watch women's basketball. I see a crossover, and they're doing some incredible things because Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, and the list goes on. They were doing some incredible things now. But I'm just like, okay, I just need something to take me to that next point. So lower the rims, give me some dunks. Now, I watch some young ladies out there playing flag football, and I mean, there's some young ladies out there with some juice. Now, I'm talking about give you that and they get gone in the flag, and I love all that. But I think when you start adding these sports, first and foremost, where's the school getting the money to basically fund this stuff, right? They have to fund it. And then on top of that, how many young women truly is going to be into it like that? Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, It's an Olympic sport. I get it's an Olympic sport now, but at the same time, is it going to be enough flag football for every high school, all those high schools, to fund it, to get it going? And then now you're trying to make it a collegiate sport. Where's the money coming from?
Are they talking about it at Wayne State?
No, not really.
Yeah, man, I'm not playing. I'm not messing with Sam, man. I didn't go to the powder puff game in high school.
We're talking about this. I mean, I wouldn't. Flag wouldn't do it for me. I would watch tackle. I would watch tackle football. I just don't think there would be enough women that went out for it.
I'm just the opposite. I don't. Once again, I've seen the female tackle football. I'm sorry, y'all. I want to see bone-crushing, neck-jarring hits. Women tackle football. I mean, that's what I want to hear and see.
Hey,
right?
Man, listen, I watched.
But flag football is entertaining. Women's flag football is entertaining.
Have you ever watched women's boxing?
Now women's boxing I mess with.
Yes.
You watch
women's boxing I mess with.
Yes.
You watch T-Rex do her thing.
Yes.
Chris Shields.
Yes.
So listen, it's some women that can lay the boom out there. I just don't. It's not the thing is there's not enough. There's not enough. It's enough female boxers out there for Clarissa Shields to fight. I just don't know there's enough women who want to play football at that level to have a tackle football, really be viable. That's why I don't think it would be a thing. Like women's basketball is a thing. That's what I think is the limiting factor. So I would watch it. I just don't think that the interest is high enough for it to be viable.
Yeah,
man, it's not enough interest to watch what is it? The USFL right now? Whatever that is. Not enough interest to watch that.
Hey, Coach, there ain't enough time in the day. I ain't gonna lie to you, y'all. I am not. I told myself I barely watch all Olympic sports as is. Outside of soccer and basketball, and maybe gymnastics, I don't have time to watch all of it. I'm definitely not dedicating precious summer hours to watching basically a glorified powder puff tournament. Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
But I'm just saying though, you'll be amazed though. Some of these young women have they got some get up and go.
Athletic, athletic is all get out for sure.
To them now.
See, I've been talking. So what I'm setting up is eventually
I don't watch men's flag.
We're gonna add a female host to the Dimes crew. It's coming. It's coming. One day. So I've been teasing that for a while. Hasn't happened yet. But we're laying the groundwork. We're gonna have a topic,
And it's not about women, Sam. It's not a man or woman. It's a lot of men stuff I don't watch. So,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? So I'll add that to the list.
I understand, Daniel. I get it.
I'm not watching.
You say, I'm not watching.
All right, folks. It's been another spirited show. We hope you had a great time. We thank you, Super Chatters, for contributing to the show. Flat, we appreciate you. Yeah, Merez has been a great pickup for Dusty. He's been, I think he's going to be. So yeah, I would love to get Chili on the show. Matter of fact, so you don't know this story. You don't know this story.
Sam, come on, man. Don't start that, man.
So
I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it.
So Chili's brother is a friend of mine, and his name is Zeke. Not Zeke Berry, but Zeke has been saying that he's gonna get Chili to come by the Victor's Lounge. She's gonna come get her to come by a game and whatnot. He's been promising this for like 15 years. Chili has never come by. I was like, what's the deal, bro? I mean, he just texted me the other day about, hey, we got these two players down in Atlanta that Michigan need to be on, Sam. You need to let the coaches know. I was like, he ain't say nothing about Chili. It's like we talking about these players, Zeke. We ain't talking about.
Man, tell Zeke until he come through on his promise, we won't hear none of that.
Hey, first of all, how is Zeke putting his sister out there like that?
I mean, he just said, that's right. I didn't say nothing. I should say, every time Zeke texts me, I should be like, hey, we just going to ignore that 15 years running, this promise you haven't kept. I just stop even mentioning it, man. I don't even mention it no more. I just look up and I see Chili and she just don't even know my name. She's supposed to at least know my name by now, right?
At least.
At least, man. Shout out to something.
But what she telling you is don't go chasing waterfalls.
Hey, it was another sister you were supposed to have on here too.
Yeah,
Sam been teasing a female co-host for a minute. It was another lady too that was pretty sharp too that you was in the comments one day.
Well, Liz was coming on as a guest, not as a co-host, but yeah,
okay.
Guest.
A guest. So, good.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. One day soon, we'll make it happen. But at any rate, folks, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Dropping Dimes. Until next time, keep dropping those dimes, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of Steady Dropping Dimes. See you then, folks.
Sure.